G'day guys, welcome back to Rides for Days. Now in this video I'm installing a set of BARRETT pannier racks on the DR650, but I just want to talk about something for a minute. I've got a trip planned at the end of the year to go to Cameron's Corner, and one of the reasons in fact why I bought the DR650 was that I could do some adventure riding because I really like the look of it. And so the plan at the end of the year was to leave Foster, and the goal was to at least get to Cameron Corner and potentially Inaminka, 300 kilometers north of Cameron Corner. But COVID has erupted again, and this Omicron virus this new strain of COVID has emerged. And I don't know, every time I go to plan to do a ride, something COVID related gets in the way and I can't go. So at this stage, because the problem with going to Cameron Corner is that at this stage, getting to Queensland from New South Wales is just a matter of having a COVID test 72 hours before you cross a negative COVID test 72 hours before you cross the border. That's all right. But South Australia, I believe, entering from New South Wales, you have to go to isolation for 14 days. That's going to be a problem because firstly, I'm not going to be away for 14 days. And secondly, potentially, if I was to forget about going to Inaminka, I would only be in South Australia for possibly, I don't know, how long does it take to get from gate 1 to gate 2? Like 30 seconds. So if anybody is aware of where Cameron Corner is, it's where New South Wales, Queensland and South Australia meet. Those three borders, they meet like this. And you've got to go through South Australia and then immediately turn right and you head into Queensland. And you're in South Australia for about 15 seconds. But in order to get into South Australia, I have to have a permit and then I have to isolate for 14 days. So I isolate for 14 days so I can go for a 30-second ride. So I don't know whether I'll be able to get some sort of an exemption for that. That would be a bit of a nuisance. Now, of course, I could go a different way from Tippaborough up through Werry Gate, I think it's called, and then on the Queensland side of the border, and then come into Cameron Corner that way. But it's kind of going the long way around, and then I'm missing the good bit of going through like the big clay pan, where it's like you're on the moon and all that sort of stuff. I wanted to see that. But anyway, so that is a very long-winded way of saying why I'm putting the pannier racks on the bike, because I want to put the pannier racks on the bike so I can obviously then hang my panniers on the side and go touring. So I bought these, I can't remember what website I bought these on. I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll put it across the screen how much I paid for it and where I bought it. They seem very good quality. I don't know what they're made out of, but they seem really sturdy. And then, so there's two of these that you can see there. There's two of them, and then it has this brace that goes across that links the two together, and yes, I suppose adds some more rigidity to the whole setup. Looks pretty good. Comes with a whole assortment of nuts and bolts. And that's about it. Looks like it could be a fairly straightforward installation. There's no real reason for it to become crazy difficult at this stage. Should be all right. So let's get on the bike and let's get the install started. Righto guys, now I just wanted to say as well, I had a ProCycle tool tube mounted on the left hand side of the bike opposite the exhaust there, and I was just taking a little bit of a look at this earlier on today, and I realised that the BARRETT pannier racks, to be mounted as is at the moment, they won't fit with the ProCycle tool tube where it was mounted. The tool tube came up to here. As you can see, the bolt's missing from there because I took it out. I just took the thing off. And then you couldn't fit the actual rack. It wouldn't fit in there with the tool tube underneath. So I've taken it off. I'm going to install the pannier racks without the tool tube. And then I'm going to do another video in a couple of days time installing the tool tube in behind the pannier racks. It's going to be a bit easier to do that way, I think. Alright, so first of all, let's remove the side panels. Do we need to? Actually, you know what? We don't need to remove the side panels. Let's just get on with installing the racks. And just for your reference, here is all the hardware that come with the racks. I can't slag off the instructions for this install because there aren't any. So I'm just going to have to wing it, I think. But there's a whole bunch of screws, 4 of each size there. Some spacers, some washers, some bolts, and a few odds and sods. Alright, let's get on to the next step. We've got a 5mm Allen, and we've got to remove, I'll just show you. With a 5mm Allen, we're going to remove this bolt, and we're going to remove this bolt, and the top part of the pannier rack is going to bolt in there, and then the rest of it, or the other section, is going to bolt in where I removed a couple of videos ago. You might remember I removed the rear passenger pegs. So those bolt holes is where the bottom part of the racks are going to go into. Cool. And I get a lot of pleasure out of tinkering with the bike, or even the Harley as well. I certainly don't regard myself as anybody with any particular talents. I just enjoy fiddling with the bikes. I get a lot of pleasure out of it. And you know, that's what I always say, like, I'm no expert, I'm just somebody fiddling with his bike, and this is how I do it. And then if you watch this video and I manage to show you something, that's really cool. But yeah, it's definitely not me saying how to do something, it's just me doing it and you're watching me do it. And hopefully you get something out of it. Alright, so that's that off. We'll find some other bolts and we'll get it on. Rightio guys, so that side has been done. The bolt that I had didn't quite fit there. It's a bit different to that bolt that you can see. So I had to sort of mooch around and find one that would actually bite. But anyway, yeah, so I've just made that work, fitting in beautifully. It's a hex bolt, it's a 35mm in length hex bolt. I had to mooch around. I couldn't find a bolt that would fit in there. There wasn't one in the pack for some weird reason. But that was alright, I made do. And then we got this bolt in there. And then down here where the rear passenger pegs were, mounted them as well. So there we are. Solid as a rock. Ain't moving. Alright, let's do the other side. Rightio guys, so on this side of the bike, this is how it's going to be. And as you know, I've removed the Pro Cycle tube, and it was the tool tube, and it was hanging off, one of the clips for it was hanging off there. So I've just removed that for now. So, and that's how it's gonna be. So basically, let's get that bolt out and let's get it on. And before we do that, it's actually the next day. I got the Barrett pannier rack installed on that other side, and then it got called away last night, and so it's now the next night, and that's how it's done. Just in case you're wondering why I've changed my singlet, that's the reason. Once again, a 5mm Allen. Alright. little bit fiddly. I'm trying to be careful not to cross thread this bolt. I really don't want to do that. It would not be good, but I'm actually able to get the whole thing in by hand, so that's okay. And it's just starting to bite now, which is good. So let's let that hang for a second and I'll get the bolts for the end piece. Alright, just leave that one with that for a second. I'll just put the bolts in here. Rightio, that is that side done. All looking nice and solid. Bolt in there, and 2 bolts down there. So I managed to find a bolt, one bolt that was the same as that would fit. I don't know what I did with the other bolt to put on the other side, but anyway, not to worry. But yeah, so that's that, and that. Not looking too bad. And of course, we got that side. So now let's put the cross brace piece on to brace the two together. Alright. So, this little cross brace piece, literally just comes underneath here and bolts to either side there with these, show you quickly. These 4 nuts and bolts either side. And then in there, I'll bring it around and I'll show you. Let's just get it on. Just get that bolt started there. Right, now I get on the other side. So I've just got a spanner, just going to hold the nut on one side and then just nip this up. Looks like I've got the wrong one. That's better, 5mm. I was using the 6mm, but it's actually 5mm. All right, and that is a done deal. Pretty bloody happy with that. Barrett pannier racks, and all nipped up nicely. And that cross brace, somebody was on the Facebook page the other day asking how important it is to put it on. And I feel like Barrett have included it. Cat had to put it on. So it's all nipped up there. And all nipped up through there. And there. And there. And down here. It's a beauty. All right, I likey. Boom. And just quickly, guys, I'll just give you a little bit of a look at what it's kind of going to look like when I start touring this wonderful land of ours. So I've got some Barrett pannier bags. I've just shoved a couple of pillows in either one just to give you a little bit of a look. So they're just hanging off a bit temporarily just so you could see. But yeah, they're just pannier racks. They're awesome. Pannier bags look kind of cool. This top bag will have all of my tent gear and all my sleeping stuff. That's the current plan. And of course I'm going to fine tune it all. But yeah, that's going to be all the sleeping stuff at the back. And then I've got to organize between, you know, food and water, and don't think we're going to need spare petrol, but food and water. I may get a bladder of fuel. I just haven't decided yet. And then of course we got the tank bag for all the everyday bits and pieces. But yeah, cool. All right, so that's the pannier racks done. There's really not much else to do now. I've pretty much sort of covered it all. Let's have a look over here. I've got to stroke a few of these off. Let's just do that. So, luggage rack, windscreen, the tires were done. USB charger, I wired it up the other day. We upgraded the headlight. Pannier racks. Long range tank has been done. Oil cooler guard. Front sprocket case saver. Done the frame guards. Haven't done the number plate holder yet. Chain guard has been done. The fender brace has been done. Mirrors and the bark busters. Right, all that remains is to do that tool tube and the number plate holder. And that is everything done. And then all I gotta do is head off on my big ride. It is going to be absolutely awesome. And of course I will bring the cameras along and I will bring you guys along with me. All right, that's it guys. Bike has been done. Getting there, not completely done, but we're getting close. All right, see you in the next one.